So 2025 is looking like it's shaping up quite well in relation to like releases and all that stuff. It was recently announced that Tomb Raiders 4 through 6 is getting remastered, and it's going to be appearing on multiple game systems next year, including the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Steam, Nintendo Switch, and even the PS4. And the thing about Tomb Raider 4 through 6 is that those are games that are often forgotten within the entire franchise for the most part. They're just overlooked because they weren't quite as popular or successful as the first three installments from 96 to 98. And for those who don't know, these games that are going to be featured in the Tomb Raider remastered trilogy are Tomb Raider Last Revelation from 99, Tomb Raider Chronicles from 2000, and then, of course, you got Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness from 2003. And even though those games weren't as popular as some of the other installments, I do feel like the plots were interesting. Like with Angel of Darkness, Lara Croft was basically a fugitive on the run because she was accused of murder. And I think with Tomb Raider Chronicles, it's like Laura Croft was presumably dead, so pretty much it's about like revealing secrets from her past and all that. So yeah, I do feel like the stories for those games were considered to be underrated, even though commercially those games didn't do as well as any of the other games. And I do feel like the 2000s in general was kind of like a dark period for the Tomb Raider series because even though Laura Croft was still a very popular character, and then we also got that Tomb Raider movie from the early 2000s that did really well in terms of box office sales. I feel like the video game series kind of just it got eclipsed by so many other popular franchises that was starting to appeal to casual gamers and get mainstream attention. I'm talking about games like Grand Theft Auto. I'm talking about the Gran Turismo series. You had the Halo series come up and become very popular. Um, you had like so many popular franchises back in the 2000s, and it kind of seemed like Tomb Raider for the most part, even though there were some memorable games that came out during that 2000s decade. Um, they don't get talked about quite as much, and I do feel that I feel like the second remastered trilogy is something that's going to reintroduce a lot of people to these three games that didn't get as much attention as they should have. And the developer and the publisher um, for the remastered trilogy is supposed to be Aspire, and the game's supposed to be coming out on February 14th in 2025. And I'm not exactly sure what the release price is going to be on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or Steam, but I do know that for Nintendo Switch, it's supposed to be somewhere around the ballpark of 26.99, and I believe people can pre-order it right now. So I'm not sure if it's one of those things where you have to pre-order it in order to get it for that particular price for Nintendo Switch or whatever. But I do feel that Tomb Raider coming to the Switch console is pretty cool because about a decade ago, I never thought I would have seen a Tomb Raider game on a Nintendo console. Period. Because for the most part, Tomb Raider has been on PlayStation consoles, and Tomb Raider basically built its legacy and it appealed to casuals like on the PlayStation console. It's been like that since 1996, and I do feel that even though the 2000s was kind of a dark period for the Tomb Raider series, the teens decade was a bit of a resurgence for the franchise because like the best-selling games within the series came out during the teens decade. I'm talking about the Tomb Raider game from 2013, and then you had the other one from 2018, which was really really popular and did like some of its best numbers in terms of overall sales. So I still feel like the Tomb Raider series is still very popular, and it's one of the few IPs within the world of gaming right now that people are familiar with, and right now people are dying to see like a brand new Tomb Raider game because I do feel that the action adventure genre is more popular than it's ever been, and I feel like it's been like that throughout most of the teens decade and still like that to this day, and um, and I do feel that Tomb Raider, for the most part, has the potential to be one of the biggest attractions of 2025, along with along with Grand Theft Auto 6, along with Metroid Prime 4, and um, and yeah, 2025 is actually shaping up to be a better video game year than 2024. And of course, there's going to be news about layoffs and all that other stuff, but but I heard that the original Tomb Raider remastered trilogy actually did pretty well in terms of sales, and I heard it earned somewhere around the ballpark of like at least $1.9 million shortly after its release. So, yeah, like the Tomb Raider series is still really, really popular, and some of the features included in the remastered trilogy that we're going to be getting next year. It allows players to play the original three games, like using old school graphics, and they can swap and use remastered graphics at any time. And and I do feel that that's something that's going to add to its level of appeal. But I do think that Tomb Raider for the most part is not going to decline in popularity anytime soon. I do know that 3D action adventure games are a bigger attraction now than they were during the 2000s, and I do feel that it's going to stay that way for quite some time. And yeah, I mean, having these games remastered like 2 years away from the 30-year anniversary of the series is something that is actually a pretty big deal, and I do feel that something big is going to happen in 2026 in relation to the Tomb Raider series because it's the 30-year anniversary and they have to do something big. Maybe we'll get like a brand new game that year because that would make the most sense. But a lot of people, including myself, is looking forward to seeing the remastered versions of Tomb Raider 4 through 6 in 2025.